How's it going, everyone? It's Hobby from Weather Sponge 5000. Today is April 13th, 2021, and today we're going to focus on the potential severe weather threat that could happen in the southeast, as well as the next major snowstorm that could impact the northeast later this week. But before I begin, make sure to subscribe if you want to see more weather-related content. Make sure to like if you like this video, and make sure to turn on post notifications if you want to see even more weather-related content. So let's begin by taking a look at the current radar based off of what the European model is saying, and you see that we do have a very large area of snow showers throughout North Dakota, and this extends to Minnesota as well. However, the good news is that this should end relatively soon. If we take a look at the Futurecast radar over the next several hours, you see that through Tuesday morning, the snow is going to linger a little bit, but then I'd say by around Tuesday afternoon, the snow showers should begin to weaken right around North Dakota, and we will see more widespread snow showers throughout North Dakota. So as a result, we won't see that much more snowfall accumulation. If we were to take a look at the forecasted snowfall accumulation throughout North Dakota, you're going to see that for the most part, it's going to be not that much more snow for the most part on top of what we already experienced. As mainly, it's going to be an area of 1 to 3 to maybe 3 to 6 in some areas, especially towards northern Minnesota. So you guys definitely need to watch out for that, because it might not be over even though majority of the snowfall has fallen. So keep that in mind if you're in the northern states of the Midwest. However, the main focus in this video will be the next potential major northeast snowstorm. So to begin, let's first take a look at the map over the next several hours of forecast, and you see that over the next several hours we do see the snow showers begin to wind down. However, we do see another trough lingering around the Rocky Mountain regions, right around Utah, Nevada, and Colorado, and right behind it we do have a slight jet stream dip, which is enhancing some instability in this region and convection to keep this low pressure at least somewhat formidable. And if we move forward, that jet stream will dip further southward as a result of the stronger northwest winds because of this lingering trough over the Midwest I've been talking about over the past several forecasts, where I do expect that this low pressure system will sort of set the stage for the next jet stream dip or trough to move through and create potentially the next big storm for the United States. And while it won't be necessarily made severe, it will certainly bring a lot of snow throughout the Midwest. This extends as far south as Kansas. This extends in Nebraska and the Dakotas and Wyoming and Colorado as well. So you guys need to keep a close eye on it headed into this Friday, April 16th. And if we move forward, what's interesting is that the low pressure that was bringing snow over the Dakotas will now move further south eastward to the point where there's going to be enough unstable air in the northeast to form a new low pressure system just off the coast of the northeast. And this is around 4 to 3 days from now, so the certainty is certainly much higher than when I last forecasted this low pressure system, where I was forecasting this trough 4 to 5 days out. But when we get to the forecast range between 2 to 3 days out, that's when the computer models really get confident with their forecast, and especially when both the European and the GFS model are agreeing upon the same trough run or the same trough trajectory and strength. And you see that the low does strengthen decently, and we do see a large area of snow throughout the New England and extending to upstate New York as well. And this is mainly affecting the higher elevations. So for those, let's say, in the bigger cities of the Northeast like Boston, New York City, if you're hoping for one last big snow event, I'd say it's more likely than not there's going to mainly be a rain event for the big cities such as Boston, New York City. Definitely, it's more likely certainly for New York City since it's further south, mainly because it's just going to be, the low pressure is just going to be too close in proximity along those cities to bring to allow much cold air to filter in, to allow much more dense and with air molecules moving a lot less to create that work to create heat. So as a result, we're going to see a lot it's going to be too warm for snow throughout the Interstate 95 corridor, as this will primarily be an interior northeast threat where it could bring major snow for a lot of you guys in the interior Northeast. And that does not mean it's gonna only affect a very low populated sector of the Northeast, because we do certainly have snowstorms that mainly affect the extreme higher elevations of the Northeast. However, it won't be exactly the case, because we're going to see areas such as Albany, New York, which has a population of over 100,000 people, going to get impacted by snow. Springfield, Massachusetts is certainly under the radar when it comes to snow. And throughout Vermont and New Hampshire, there's still a lot of people that reside in those regions. So you certainly do not want to underestimate this nor'easter just because it isn't going to be extremely major and impact the big cities. Because for one thing, there's still that possibility it will happen. I'd say it's more slight than likely to happen, but there's still the possibility. And also that this storm is still capable of impacting a lot of people over a large area of the Northeast. So as a result, we're going to see a pretty big area of snow throughout the Northeast, and this could be heavy at times, especially in the higher elevations. And people will certainly need to prepare for a potential snowstorm throughout the Northeast. So make sure to get the salt ready. I know it might be out of season for you guys. I know a lot of people are thinking that it's already spring and winter is over, but in the Northeast, you will have to deal with this next snowstorm right around Friday. And the European model also agrees with this run for the most part, and it's been leaning towards bringing a weak nor'easter to the Northeast, and we do see a large area of snow, especially in the higher elevations of the Northeast. So we need to keep close on it. Now, you might be wondering, what are the chances of snow extends further southward to New York City and Boston? Like I said, it's more slight, but it really all depends on the trajectory of this ridge, or the trajectory of the northwesterly winds and the strength of the northwesterly winds to bring that cold air down. But we just have to wait and see what happens with this between the pressure gradient of this ridge and the slow pressure system, because it will be a huge factor in determining whether or not we're going to see just enough cold air in the Northeast to create a major blockbuster snowstorm, even for the more coastal regions of the Northeast. So we need to keep a close eye on that over the next several days. And in terms of what the snowfall accumulation that forecasts that the European model is currently forecasting, if we were to take a look at the total snowfall accumulation forecast, you see that over the next 5 days, we do have some areas receiving well over a foot of snow, which is just a ton of snow, especially for April and middle April. And as you can see, based off of this radar, it seems like New York City and Boston are just going to be right out of it. So so you guys won't really get impacted by the snow that much. It's unlikely you guys will get impacted by much snow at all. And maybe some snow showers, but I don't expect much of any accumulation throughout the big cities in the Northeast. So we need to keep a close eye on that, but still at least be aware of it throughout the Northeast. But the other threat we need to worry about throughout the United States is also the severe weather, which does have a slight possibility of happening throughout the Southeast, which includes Mississippi, Louisiana, and Texas, where we do see some thunder showers form right along this weak frontal boundary, and it certainly could bring impacts throughout the Southeast. So we need to keep a close eye on that. In terms of how much convective available potential energy will be available in the atmosphere by the time the trough moves through. So taking a look at that, okay, I found it. So let me show you guys the surface-based convective available potential energy, and you see right here that for the most part we aren't seeing a lot of convective available potential energy, so that should limit the severe weather risk for this week. But there's certainly some in Texas, and it extends to Louisiana and even portions of the Southeast at times. So but it isn't anything major or nothing that we haven't seen before, as for so far this spring, we've seen much more impactful severe weather threats throughout the southeast. So the threat will mainly be large hail, possibly damaging winds, and a slight chance of a tornado. There isn't enough unstable air right around southeast to induce major tornado outbreaks. So as a result, I'd say the severe weather risk for the southeast will be mainly moderate, as this shouldn't be anything more than just a minimal to moderate severe weather threat overall, but that still could definitely cause damage, where we could see large hail and damaging winds, and who knows, even in very isolated areas, maybe a tornado. So we can't rule that out, and make sure to stay prepared throughout the southeast, because we could certainly see a moderate severe weather threat for a lot of you guys. In terms of the snowfall forecast map I made, this based off what the GFS model and the European model is saying. You see that I'm expecting a large area throughout New Hampshire and Vermont to get around 6 to 12 inches of snow, and then just south of that, 3 to 6 inches of snow is certainly possible, and 1 to 3 just south of that. And this includes Albany, New York, so you need to keep in mind that a lot of cities, New Hampshire and Vermont, and this is just gonna be this could be a major snowstorm for a lot of you guys in the higher elevation. So keep a close eye on that over the next several days. But anyways, guys, I thank you guys for watching. Make sure to subscribe if you want to see more weather content. Make sure to like if you like this video. Make sure to turn on post notifications if you want to see even more weather content. And I hope you guys have a good day.